Defence Force will send 1,000 personnel to help contain a coronavirus outbreak in Victoria that's causing a return to partial lockdown conditions in some Melbourne suburbs. The state government made the request overnight as it ramped up its response to clusters in 6 hotspots, which are causing major concerns to health authorities.
Meanwhile, north of the border, a Sydney school has been closed for deep cleaning. A Year 2 student at the Cove West Public School tested positive for the virus yesterday. And amid all the health concerns, the federal government is taking action to support the struggling arts and entertainment sector, amid accusations it has been left out in the cold. A lot of angles to cover this morning, so let's get straight into it and bring in Stephen Schubert, Jesse Dorset and Matt Doran. Stephen, to you first in Melbourne. This is very big news about the military coming in because we saw so many queues, so many people at those testing queues yesterday.
Good morning, Lisa. That's right. More than 1,000 Australian Defence Force personnel will be deployed to Victoria. Now, we understand that 850 of those will be involved with hotel quarantine. So that's for returned international travellers to make sure they're doing the right thing and staying where they're supposed to be. Now, another 200 people will be involved in logistical and medical support. So we understand that will be things like helping out at testing centres like this one behind me. Now, that comes after these enormous queues yesterday that we saw at testing centres right across Melbourne, with people being turned away from various centres. Now, the Department of Health says that actually they're going fine, they've got enough tests, they've got everything they need to have, but they were trying to clear the backlog of cars for these drive-through testing centres, saying that it was actually becoming a traffic management issue. It's still about an hour until this testing site here in Preston opens, and already people are coming. There are people directing traffic to overflow areas until this site opens at 8 o'clock. So that support, that extra support from the more than 1,000 ADF personnel will be welcome here in Victoria.
And Jesse, to you in Sydney, there's another school community digesting the news of a positive case.
This is the 10th school in Greater Sydney to experience a COVID scare since the outbreak began. Lisa, families were told that a Year 2 student here at Cove West Public School has tested positive for the virus. The school will be shut today while the disease detectives determine who's had close contact with the student, and the campus receives a deep clean. Lessons will move online, and the school will write to parents and guardians to tell them when it plans to reopen. In the meantime, a clinic has been set up for students at the Royal North Shore Hospital, but they only need to get swabbed if they're experiencing respiratory symptoms or a fever. We still don't know how this Year 2 student contracted coronavirus. The diagnosis will be included in the daily count released later this morning. Lisa, yesterday New South Wales confirmed 10 new infections. All of them were returned travellers in hotel quarantine.
Thanks, Jesse. And Matt in Canberra, finally, the arts industry getting what it's been asking for, but will it be enough?
Well, we'll have to wait to see how the industry is reacting to this news this morning that the federal government will provide $250 million in support for the sector. As soon as social restrictions came in late March, it was effectively a sledgehammer for the industry. You can't go down to your local theatre or your local live music venue for a gig when you can't be stuck in a room with people, and a lot of people in the industry found themselves out of work as a result. So this announcement today is split up into a few different categories. I'll walk you through it. Of the $250 million, $75 million will be for a competitive grants program to help get festivals and concerts and tours back up and running. Those grants will range from $75,000 to $2 million. $90 million will be provided in the form of concessional loans, which will be offered through commercial banks, but the federal government will guarantee those loans for new productions. $50 million is going towards the film and television industry, particularly for producers who've been unable to access insurance and secure finance to restart their productions during the coronavirus crisis. And $35 million will go towards direct financial assistance for Commonwealth-funded organisations. So bodies that already get federal funds will get a top-up in the form of part of this package. So we've already started to hear some of the reaction. The Greens Arts spokeswoman, Sarah Hanson-Young, Senator for South Australia, saying saying that this is simply too little too late, that this industry has been crying out for support, particularly when many of its staff were not eligible for the JobKeeper wage subsidy scheme, saying that this won't go anywhere near far enough to protecting this very vital part of Australia's culture. The government has said that $100 million worth of JobKeeper wage subsidies have flowed into the area, but it's unlikely to quell some of that disquiet that has been raised about the current state of affairs. Lisa?
OK, Matt, Jesse, Stephen, thank you.